Hi everyone, Paul Morbid here, Morbid Team Entertainment in Bolex Repair Philippines. Welcome to How to Save Hundreds and Thousands on Lenses for your Bolex H-16 Reflex, Part 3. This time it's going to be about the Industar N61 52mm f2.8 M39 Mount. And let me tell you, I got this lens online in the Philippines for $10 or 500 Filipino pesos, and I love it. This is one of the best Russian lens that I'm going to enjoy for my experimental horror filmmaking, mounted onto my Bolex H-16 Reflex. And before we go any further, again, I'm speaking to experimental filmmakers. True, reflex lenses are made for reflex cameras. However, the amount of money that I just saved for $10 US, 500 Filipino pesos, to go into my Bolex Reflex, that I'm going to be using this lens for particular scenes, is amazing. I have no interest for what I'm doing in my experimental horror filmmaking in having a lens that steps all the way up and all the way down and totally focuses. Here, I have extreme close-ups for experimental horror filmmaking, and I love it. So, fellow experimental horror filmmakers and experimental filmmakers, let's look deeper into this lens. So, understanding this lens, this Industar 61, is an M39 Mount. You can visit right up here at Bolex Repair Philippines FB page, and for very inexpensively you can purchase the M39 screw mount adapter that we'll put right on here. Make sure I got the spanner connectors on top. There we go. Screw that right on, just like snow. Next, I have the M39 here to C-mount to go into my turret, and I'll just screw that right on there. Fairly snug. These are aluminum adapters, by the way, not plastic. Now, I just simply mount it onto, once I find that thread, there we go, my Bolex H-16 Reflex. Fairly snug. And there I am, ready to film. Let's take a closer look. On the back of the turret, C-mount of the Bolex H-16 Reflex with the Industar 61, using the M42 to C-mount adapter and the M39 adapter. I want you to look at the back of here, where my pencil eraser is, on the back side of the Bolex turret, taking position where the lens goes. Whatever adapter you go with, make sure that the back of the adapter does not extend beyond the turret, because that can damage, it'll get caught onto the filter holder and damage the ground glass. These adapters that we sell at Bolex Repair Philippines do not extend beyond this turret on the back. Now when I mean extreme close-ups, that's what I'm going to get with this lens. I essentially stop it all the way up, and I've got beautiful, surrealistic visuals with this Industar 61 52mm. I can get really close up to the eyes of the talent and whatever else type of object that I want to film. So, again, for $10 American, 500 Filipino pesos, I just saved myself for exactly what I want to do in my experimental horror filmmaking, and only what I want to do, hundreds and thousands of dollars. The only real thing I have to do, because of the price I paid for it, which is just fine, is I've got to clean it. It is a bit dirty, but it has click stops. I can remove those if I wish, so it'll be smooth. But quite frankly, for what I'm doing, it makes no difference. And I'll put it under, and once I dismantle it and clean it, put it under the UV light, destroy any type of possible fungus, and clean it with hydrogen peroxide, I'm good. And again, experimental filmmakers, experimental horror filmmakers, I am extremely pleased with how this lens looks through the viewfinder. I truly am. If you want to go with one of these or a different type of a lens, remember, each lens is unique. Each vintage lens to do this type of format that I'm using right here. It's possibly not suggested using this method for an average filmmaker, the typical type of filmmaker, but definitely for the avant-garde experimental films, especially experimental horror film making. This looks fantastic. Later on, once I start my film here in the Philippines, my experimental horror film, I'll start posting up some footage, images of these lenses. Alright? Do click that bell down there, like, share, and comment. Visit us and contact us at Bolex Repair Philippines up here, FB page, to get your M39 screw mount adapter and M42 to C mount to support my channel. Alright? Paul Morbid of Morbid Team Entertainment and Bolex Repair Philippines. Until next time, see ya!